Good evening, wherever you are. And this is Works, Radio Works World, and I'm your host, Ysanne Lewis. And I'm here really to help you to reinvent your lives through my longevity as an astrologer and a timing consultant. I help people to navigate their lives with timing and being on track and in alignment with a higher purpose and their day-to-day life. So I'm your host, and I'll be talking with Marina Nani. Hello, Marina.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm so grateful, Ysanne, for you being here. It's just like a dream coming true. I'm so excited about this because you are, above all, a person that I believe in. You are somebody I need in my life. And you tell me, who doesn't need you in this entire world? Who doesn't need you? You are just amazing. So, Ysanne, tell me how you discover your gift. What happened? What is the moment in your life? I know you have to look back in time, and
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that will inspire other people knowing your story. What made you discover your true self and reinvent your life yourself?
Well, my goodness, I'm going back 37 years. March the 1st, 1979, when I became self-employed. And I really wanted to be self-employed. And I'd always had an interest in these kind of subjects, maps. As a kid, as a teenager, I always wanted to be an explorer. Funny, really, looking back. And I loved maps. And in a way, I wasn't a physical explorer so much. I don't think I was strong enough for that, though I have traveled extensively with my work. But as I moved through my 20s, I developed more and more of an interest and studied for years astrology and related metaphysical subjects. I was also a colour therapist. Somehow I think it chose me, and it's been a really, really good friend. And my older self would say to my younger self, just remember it's your friend. And if you're following a path with an authentic heart, it will not let you down, riches or not. So I certainly didn't take it up to be a millionaire. I took it up because I knew it worked and I wanted to help people and get them in touch with their own uniqueness. So my love of maps and travel and psychology really took me into this field. And what a big field astrology is, particularly being a navigator. And we all have an inner sat nav. Intuition is an inner sat nav as well. That's an interesting point. But this inner sat nav based on cycles, timing. When we go out on a journey, maybe we're driving and the sat nav's not working or the map is too old. So we ask someone, which way do we go? And they mean well, but they send us the wrong way. Maybe their rights and lefts aren't very good. And then we have to actually stop, like at a crossroad, and we have to really look at that map more or correct the sat nav. And my job is by looking at an individual's or even a country's or a company, a business starting point, the time, the full date, and the longitude and latitude, the core coordinates. I can see this cycle set into motion at that beginning and that lovely journey. Not so much what will happen, but maybe when, in terms of troughs and peaks. And because we are beings of cycles whilst we're in bodies, Marina, I think that we actually know our timings. And my job is to gently bring that knowledge out in my clients, in my talks I give. And it's beautiful. And then the more we trust that process, we can simplify the process. I think our futures can be quite different. So over 37 years, and I have had an extraordinary life. I'd call myself an ordinary person, brought up with good values, but an ordinary upbringing, who's had an extraordinary life. And I'm so grateful to my clients, to the places I've visited where I've got to see interesting countries from the inside, meaning staying with the clients, getting to know the locality. How many people get that? So you asked me that question, and that's how I'd like to answer it, I think.
Wow, Ysanne. Wow. So you help people, our listeners out there, to reinvent their life on their own terms this time. and bring the best version of themselves, but taking them through the timing process.
Indeed.
So ordinary people, an ordinary person could have an extraordinary life starting right now connecting with you.
Absolutely, because I think we only live out a small amount of our potential. And what happens to the rest of us? What happens to the rest, other than that small part that we're living out? And what parts of us have been sublimated or shelved when we're young due to the knocks of life, to how we've been educated, when we've perhaps been criticised or embarrassed? And therefore we think it's like an actor who has stage fright and won't come on stage, right? So you live out that part of us, that personality trait, that talent, and yet they could be real powerhouses. And like in a play, when an actor has stage fright, another actor plays a role for them. And in life, when we don't live out a part of us, we will draw to us individuals, people who will act those roles for us. If you look at your own life, Marina, I'm sure you recognize people from an early age who live out those traits, which you're not comfortable with. And I think it's so important, excuse me, it's so important to claim those roles for ourselves. Yeah. So, for example, if we never get angry because we're afraid of our anger, or we weren't allowed to be when we were young, we might have drawn to us people who are very bossy or even get quite angry or dominant. And it's quite a bright mirror. So if we can actually claim that a little, say it's okay to get assertive, to say no, we actually can have better relationships. That's one example.
Wow.
That makes sense.
A total sense, because I believe a success is not something you have to chase. Success is your birthright. So it's just a matter of deciding when you really start being curious about yourself, when you could really look inside, stop looking outside, look inside and discover who you truly are. So claiming your life the way could be, it's a matter of guidance. It is a discovery, it is an adventure. And I'm sure that you, through all the thousands of clients you helped around the world, you have not only plenty of room in your heart for each one of our listeners to connect with you, but you have the wisdom and you have the specialized knowledge to guide them through their discovery journey. And
absolutely.
I wonder how that works. So if any of our listeners or each one of our listeners wants to connect with you and have a discovery session with you, how would that work?
Well, one way of contacting me is through my website. Is that okay to mention it?
Of course, please broadcast it.
Well, my website is www.ysanne, which is spelled Ysanne, Ysanne.com. And yeah, so my email's on there, phone number, so that people can contact me. And I do write a blog at www.catching-the-wave.com, all about the planetary influences going on and how we can work with them. And I do it in everyday words, because most of my clients, nearly all of them, aren't astrologers, so I have to make it accessible to the everyday person. And I think you're right, we have a birthright, Marina, and it's nice to feel we can leave a legacy behind us. By that, I'm not talking about the people who built cathedrals or great work of art even, but the legacy of how we have been the most that we can be, not to be a perfectionist, but to be authentic, to enjoy being here as well, to bring that light into the world, and not to shirk, pull away from challenges which are really ours to be taken, opportunities. We are the opportunity, as you said earlier.
Wow. you are just reading my mind, and I'm not surprised. So for our listeners out there, please, if you think of something you could be, now is the time. Connect with Ysanne, www.ysanne.com.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you.
You could reinvent your life, and this time on your own terms, and bring the best version of yourself. Is a timing process. Your ordinary life hides the best kept secret, your extraordinary self, and it's time for you to come out. Connect with Ysanne. From both of us, till next time.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Marina. And thank you, listeners.
Reinvent your life. Ysanne is here for you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.